The legend, as told to us and as told by many people over the 130 years or so since all this happened, the legend is that a fellow named Slumach, a local indigenous man, came into New Westminster in the late 1880s, and he threw gold nuggets the size of walnuts around the local saloons. New Westminster was a fairly well-developed small city at the time, but it was still frontier in many aspects. So he threw gold nuggets around the saloons, and people scrambled for them and said, "Where did you get this?" And he said, "Well, that's a secret." And he would drink and have a good time, and then he would leave town. This is all legend. He would leave town. He would take usually an indigenous woman with him, supposedly to help him bring back the gold. None of them ever came back. And he always returned with more gold, and it was all done in the middle of the night, sort of thing. So people tried to follow him. They never could. And then one of the young women that he'd taken away, legendarily, turned up in the local Fraser River, which is British Columbia's largest river, which runs through the town of New Westminster. She turned up in the river with his knife in her back. And so he was arrested the next time he came to town. He was tried, convicted, and hanged. And therein lies the nub of the legend. Supposedly, when Slumach stood on the gallows, he said, "Nika memlus, mine memlus," which in the Chinook jargon of the day meant, "When I die, mine dies." So supposedly that meant he put a curse on the mine. And then within a decade, people were looking for this supposed mine, and it's gone on and on and on. So that's where it got started. Now, in actual fact, Slumach did murder somebody, and he was hanged on January 16th, 1891 for that murder. But there were no missing women involved. There were no gold nuggets the size of walnuts reported. And you know that local press being local press, if somebody was throwing gold nuggets around the saloons, that would have made the papers of the day. And none of that ever happened. And there was no mention of it at the trial. No mention of missing women. No mention of gold. Very simply, two guys who didn't like each other had a fight, and Slumach shot the other guy. And that was the truth of the matter. But that doesn't stop a legend from growing. And the legend has grown and has been repeated and has lied. People have searched for the mine for all these decades,